Hi, my name is Tino van der Capelle. I'm here today with GMI. We're going to introduce you to the Academy Introduction of a portfolio of services that GMI has recently launched. One of the items that we have launched and that we will have launched here on this website is called the webinar sessions. And today I want to give you an introduction on what you can expect to see in the next coming months of GMI webinar topics. For those of you who don't know GMI, which I would doubt because you have found us here on the website, however, GMI has been over 40 years delivering intrinsically safe and industrial electronics and support a safe working environment for today and also for future generations. And they have done this with a range of products, from barriers to isolators, to power supplies, to multiplexers, etc. I'm not here to talk to you about products, but I'm here to talk to you about some services. And GMI will supply, on top of those services, they will also support now the engineering companies, end users, system integrators. Basically anyone that would need some additional help to try to achieve a functional safety culture. Well, that is where, with our webinars and other items that we have launched, we will try to help the industry to achieve that safer environment. Therefore, the new GMI corporate identity and website will support those functional safety awareness items with a GMI Academy and also with webinars. Besides those webinars, GMI has been already supporting the industry for many years with a book called the SIL Manual, which is the Safety Instrumented Systems. That book has been proven to be very highly informative for a simple reason. It has been available for over 10 years. And believe it or not, they have more than 50,000 copies of that book that engineers today are using in the industries. It has been released in several languages. However, the current release that we have today available for you is the 4th edition, which is available in English. Maybe a little word to introduce myself. My name is Tino van der Capelle. As you may have heard on my accent, and maybe my name also is giving it away. I'm native Belgium and I'm native Flemish. So I'm not Italian. I'm speaking 5 languages. At least I'm trying to speak 5 languages. Here in this webinar, of course, I have to focus in English. And I started many years ago in Belgium, back in the days, where there were no functional safety standards available. Actually, there were no standards available who were saying, or what was told to us, how we have to design control platforms, control systems, or PLC programmings, how we had to program that, etc. So I started as an instrumentation engineer on an LNG plant. From there onwards, I dedicated my time mainly on safety critical control systems. I have been working with different safety PLC manufacturers. But I'm happy to announce here also today that for the last 3 years, my main activity is here together with GMI, which is a family-owned business, which I'm also sure that some other topics or website information will explain you a company profile more in depth. With GMI International, I'm holding the position of Director of Functional Safety Services and Consultancy. That means that besides the services consultancy, we also will do training, and that's another topic which will have a dedicated webinar that I will explain you also later in one of the sessions that is following after this one. I'm also a senior functional safety expert and trainer from the very first days of the TOV Rheinland program. You can see here on the slides, we have here my number, which is the ID number, unique ID number is 109. And you can see that the expiration date officially in the beginning was 05, but I'm also happy to say, of course, that has been renewed. So now my expiration date for the moment is somewhere 2019, and then I will have to renew my certification. And the last bullet here on this slide, I'm also an ISA 84 committee information member. That means I'm following very closely all developments on written guidance, on written or practical information to help the industry to create this safer world. To give you a brief introduction on some of the topics without going too much in detail, because therefore we have the dedicated webinars, We have here a portfolio of all different topics. The first bullet, as you can see over there, is the IEC 61511 General Introduction. General Introduction, the target audience for this webinar will be non-experts and people who wants to know what the 61511 is all about for the process industry. Because we have a more advanced one or a more expert one, which will be the second bullet, and there I will focus mainly on all the changes for edition 2. Edition 2, as some of you may know, came out in February 2016. There are some amendments ongoing as we speak, so there will be something coming soon. But what we already will launch here in this webinar on the changes, I will give you a brief summary of all the changes against the edition 1, which was released edition 1 in 2004. The third bullet which we show over there is function safety management. There is certainly a new focus on function safety management, or a more, let's say, strong focus on function safety management in our edition 2 61511, because we recognize in the industry that since 2004 release edition 1, that function safety management was unfortunately not followed by many companies as it should. Therefore, the focus, the attention is that function safety management shall be used and shall be followed by anyone who is involved in our safety instrumented systems in the process industry. The other bullet that I would like to put some attention on is called the Safety Requirements Specification. And I thought it was useful, besides the book that GMI is supplying you, where chapter 8 is actually describing you a detailed example, bullet per bullet, what the SRS should contain for a safety instrumented function. In this webinar, we're going to highlight you a few or a summary of the items that you should be aware if you are involved in defining or writing or maybe trying to read a safety requirement specification. What should you expect to find if the author of the document had followed the edition 2 of the 61511? The other topic that I would like to highlight here is the proof test coverage and the proof test interval. We have a dedicated webinar for that because, frankly speaking, if you don't test your safety instrumented function sufficient or qualitative enough, then you will see that your safety integrity level or your risk reduction factor cannot be maintained in function of time. I will give you some examples of what you have to be aware of in able to achieve a safer or a better working safety instrumented function. The other topic that I would like to highlight on the webinars is safety manual. Safety manual came out or was a requirement, normative requirement from edition 2 61508, which is clearly mainly for the manufacturers, such as, for instance, GMI. In that seminar or webinar, I should call it, we will actually address you with the safety manual, which is now a requirement from edition 2 of the 61511. Because besides the manufacturer safety manual, we also need to have a safety manual on the complete overall system of the complete overall safety instrumented system, where you as an end user or you as a practitioner who is maybe building such type of systems shall have a customized safety manual per functionality of that system or of that loop. Another webinar is focusing on the competency review. I want to give you an overview of a competency review program. The one that we are following here in GMI is from TOV Rhineland, and I have a dedicated webinar where I can explain you some more items that we are trying to provide you with. And I also will have a webinar coming up which is focusing on the process availability versus safety availability. This is only a summary of what is already being filmed for webinars. Our next batch of webinars needs to be filmed later on this year, so I'm sure you have to visit back to our website. You're going to find more of these useful topics, hopefully useful for you for your daily business in the process industry. Besides these webinars, what else we will help you with, or GMI is trying to provide you with in the GMI Academy, is the safety trainings. And here I have a summary of all the trainings that we will be supplying to you. And To start off with the first one-day trainings, the one-day trainings, as you see over here, we will have dedicated one-day trainings on 6.15.11 and on 6.15.08. Of course, top of the list is also top of our training is the flagship training from TOV Rhineland, which is the Functional Safety Engineer Review. And then we have a dedicated training mainly on the revision 2 or the changes. That means the changes of the 6.15.11. And we also have the same available for those of you who are interested on the 6.15.08 edition 2 changes. We also have a one-day dedicated training for functional safety management. Because many, let's say, companies like system integrators or maybe some EPC contractors or maybe a service provider like a provider who goes into an end user site who is maybe doing some calibration or some installation or commissioning. Well, anyone involved now in our safety life cycle in the SIS for 6.15.11 shall have a functional safety management. That is why we are believing that this is for everyone in our process industry. We also will have a one-day safety requirement specification customized training. And it's customized in the sense of that if we know that the publicum coming to our training course are, for instance, all coming from a EPC contractor, one company as an example, well, then we will focus for them exactly what needs to be written in such a safety requirement specification. Because there is not one common safety requirement specification that will fit the entire industry. We are customizing those type of trainings to the publicum that are coming to our dedicated trainings. We also have the cybersecurity introduction and specialized training. The introduction is already available, but with the specialized training, we are still in negotiation with our partner on cybersecurity to see exactly how many days. It can be 1 or 2 or maybe more days with or without a test, with or without a certification that will also be available in the upcoming future. In-house and customized training are available for all of them. As we said, we can customize them to your needs. That is what we will try to help you with. I would like to thank you for your attention. I would like to thank you for your time taking to listen to this webinar. I hope some of those items will be of interest for you, and I certainly hope to welcome you back in one of the next webinars. Thank you.